Okay, so we finished Charles's Law. Charles's Law just basically explains the relationship between volume and temperature, which is directly proportional. And now we're moving on to Gay-Lussac's law. So I'm going to write it down here. Give me 1 second. So Gay-Lussac's law is basically expresses the relationship between pressure and temperature. So again, we work with three different factors: pressure, temperature, and volume with any of the gas laws. And in this one, we're going to assume the volume is constant. So remember that temperature reflects the average kinetic energy of particles in a system. As a system increases in temperature, the gas particles in the system gain kinetic energy or energy of motion. So as a result, the particles inside collide with the container with greater force, and pressure increases as well. Gay-Lussac's law explains that an increase in thermal energy will cause an increase in pressure. So temperature is written in Kelvin. Okay. So temperature and pressure, they are directly proportional. And you can express this law in this following mathematical equation. P1 over T1 equals P2 over T2. Keep all temperature readings in Kelvin. Super important, okay? If you don't know how to convert between temperatures, please keep this for your records, okay? Kelvin equals degrees Celsius plus 273.15. Degrees Fahrenheit, so it equals 1.8 times whatever degrees Celsius you have plus 32. And degrees Celsius equals 0.56 times whatever degrees Fahrenheit you had recorded minus 32. So this goes first, and then you multiply it by 56.56, okay? So a sample problem that you might have for Gay-Lussac's law in order to help you out with the questions for homework is that a sample of gas in a steel tank So a sample of a gas in a steel tank at 101 kilopascals and 25 degrees Celsius is heated to 55 degrees Celsius. So what is the air pressure in the heated tank? Excuse me. Oh boy. All right. So this one is going to be requiring first me to change these to Kelvin. Okay. That is my first step. And then I can go ahead and proceed to P1 over T1 equals P2 over T2, where P1 is my initial pressure, P2 is my final pressure, T1 is my initial temperature, and T2 is my final temperature. Okay, so I need to convert these temperatures to Kelvin. So the first one is 25 degrees Celsius. So then in order for it to be Kelvin, I'm going to add 273, which equals 298 Kelvin. That's my initial temperature. So I'm going to write this down here. Okay. And then my second temperature that was given is 55 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to add 273 to that, and it becomes 328 Kelvin, right? So it's my T2. And, okay, a sample of a gas in a steel tank, 101 kilopascals. So then my initial pressure is going to be 101 kilopascals, which means I'm missing my last pressure, my final one. So I'm going to go ahead and modify my equation to isolate P2. So in order to find P2, I must multiply P1 times T2 and divide it by T1, which is my initial pressure and temperature. If I substitute that with the numbers that I calculated right here and also gathered from the problem, I will substitute accordingly. P2 equals okay. So P2 equals 101 kilopascals times 328 Kelvin divided by 298 Kelvin. The K's cancel out. And if I calculate this if I put this into my calculator, I get 111 kilopascals. So that is my final pressure. And it makes sense, okay? So if my temperature increases, so will my pressure. So you can always double check your work by seeing, okay, if I'm looking at Gay-Lussac's law and my final pressure has increased and I'm looking for my final temperature must increase too. If it has decreased, you probably are doing something wrong in your calculation. The same goes for this. If I had looked at here and if my pressure had decreased instead of increased, I would have figured out right then and there I did something wrong. So that is Gay-Lussac's law. Have a good one.